أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم آمين يا رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم اجمع شمل المسلمين والكريستيان والأمة في مدينة دباو وسلم دائما مجتمعنا هذا بالسلم والأمن والتقدم في بلدنا هذا آمين يا رب العالمين ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على خير خلقه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين يا رب العالمين.
In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today to praise and worship you and give you thanks for all the things you continue to provide for ourselves and our families. Father, we humbly ask for forgiveness for all the times we have offended you, when we forget to acknowledge your presence in the image of our brothers and sisters, and for moments we fail to be good stewards of the blessings you have given us. Continue to guide and protect each one of us, Lord, that we may always walk in the light of your everlasting love and mercy. Grant us, Father, with your comfort in times of distress and with your strength in times of weakness. Bestow upon us your unending grace and healing, that we may in turn become instruments of gentleness and compassion to others. We ask all this in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ, with the prayer and the intercession of our Blessed Mother. Amen.
Manama, mawantog ka. Warpo ko iling ko'y ko. O Diyos, kahibulungan ka. Busa ikaw lang ang simbahon ko. Busa ikaw lang ang alagaran ko.
Ayan, good afternoon sa ating mga teachers all over the country. This is our afternoon session of this Casio Tech session, spearheaded by Educational Technology Unit and Casio Calculators Philippines. So, for this afternoon, we'll be discussing about STEM, Engineering 101, leveling up your engineering skills using Casio Classwiz. Siyempre, mag-discuss po niyan ay ang top 1 ng November 2018 Civil Engineering Licensure Examination. And to formally introduce our speaker and to give us an overview about our topic this afternoon, let us all welcome the Casio Educational Unit Head, the very supportive and dependable partner of Educational Technology Unit, Mr. Joel C. Serrano. Good morning, Sir Joel. Nakamute po.
Yun.
Yan.
Yan, okay na.
Hello, sir.
Magandang hapon. No? I know it's a very challenging time right now. For today, this afternoon, our speaker will talk about the integration of Casio Classwiz calculator to college mathematics subjects. No, so it is my honor and pleasure to present to you our key speaker for this afternoon. Well, basically, graduated magna cum laude lang naman. BS Civil Engineering sa University of the Philippines, Diliman. University of the Philippines, Diliman, no? And he is a Itbulaga scholar during his high school and college days. And November 2018 for Civil Engineering Licensure, siya lang naman ang number 1 or top 1 sa examination with the ratings of 97.2. Okay, friends, and currently right now he's an structural design engineer for PIDMA Properties. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Engineer Jaydee Lucero. Good afternoon, Sir JD.
Ayun. So, good afternoon po.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Yun, thank you Sir Joel no and Sir Vance
Okay,
no. So,
take it away,
so
sir.
hello. So, welcome Casio Nation. Yan. So welcome Casio Nation. So, welcome sa ating of the Casio calculators. Yan. So welcome no. So welcome sa ating 3 p.m. session no of the Casio Calculator Philippines Tech session no. So for this session no, so this is my second time no. So I am very thankful sa opportunity na mabigyan ulit mapakita, maging part ulit ng yung webinar na to, no? And hopefully, marami kayong matutunan, no? Topic natin na to, no? So, for this session, so, ang i-discuss natin, so, the title of our session is Engineering 101, no? So, leveling up your engineering skills with Casio Classwiz. So, Casio Classwiz, no? So, we'll be using the Casio Classwiz, no? So ito yung pinaka-latest release ng Casio in the scientific calculators series nila, no? So if you have the install sa the emulator, no, the trial version of the emulator, so you can open it now, no, para ma-test nyo yung mga examples natin later on, okay? So in my last seminar, so nag-focus ako sa higher engineering students, no. So the topics that I had in the previous webinar were of engineering, talaga hardcore engineering. Now this time, so from the title itself, which is Engineering 101, no, so this topic is directed to STEM students, no. So the STEM students in the senior high school and in engineering students in the first year college, no. So beginning engineering students, no. But yun nga, so because of that, no, expect that the examples here will very light, no. So to illustrate the features of the Casio Classwiz and also to illustrate the basic skills, no, na dapat meron ang isang beginning engineering student, no, pagpasok nila ng college. Okay? So without further ado, no, so let's start the session natin. Yan. So before that, no, so Casio Classwiz, no. So the time na nilabas siya sa market, no. So there are many people who ask, no, so what's the difference with Casio 991 ES? So is it better to use this? What are its features, no? So is it more powerful in the sense, no? So in the first part of our session, I'll enumerate, no, the the best features, no. So we'll have a face-to-face comparison between this and this, no. So face-to-face comparison between the Casio Classwiz, no, on the left and the Casio 991 ES on the right, no. So okay, so let's start, no. So as you see, no, so physical appearance, no, you see the Casio Classwiz has this techy look, no. So the buttons are the print, no, yung mga numbers here, the keypads, no. So all of them, no, have this techy feel, no, compared to the Casio 991 ES. Okay. Now another feature, no. So first difference between these two, no. So do you see this one? So let's highlight this, no. So you see this. So there are letters here, no. So there are options here above the numbers. So the matrix, the vector, the stat mode, the complex, and the base mode, no. So each of which, no, is accessible through shift and pressing the appropriate key, no, based on the appropriate mode, no. So yung current mode mo sa Casio 991 ES, no. So which is very confusing, at least for me, no, from my personal experience, no? Because you have to set the appropriate mode and then ship and then find the appropriate options here, no? So they have 5 keys here, no? But with the Casio Classwiz, no? So it's much easier now, no? So instead of one key each mode, no? So the Casio Classwiz features this one button, the option mode, the option button, no? So which here we only have one key for all modes, no? So all options for each mode are accessible through this one key, so which is the option key, no? So okay. So we'll use it later, no? So in our examples, no? So you see, as you will see later. Okay? So other features, no, other advanced features of the Classwiz as compared to the Casio FX991ES. So first we have this somewhat abbreviated options, no? So comp for the computation mode, stat for statistics mode, EQN for equation mode, and so on and so forth, no? But with the improved graphics of the Classwiz, no? So we have this, no? So it's more graphical, more intuitive, no? And as you can see, so the options are stated in their full words, no? So instead of abbreviations. So here we have the calculate line, we have the table, no? So it's much easier now for the users, for especially engineering, no, to use, no, the options here, no. So this is kumbaga yung sub pamalit doon sa mode nung 991ES. Okay? Now, aside from that, no, Casio Classwiz features four additional modes, no, for our calculations, no. First is the distribution mode, no, for statistics, no. So we have the spreadsheet mode, no, like the matrix mode, no. So this is mga proportionals natin, no, sa ratio and proportion problems. Okay? So that's it. So another feature is this one in the setup mode, no, sa 991ES. So we have this again. So we have this cryptic abbreviated options, no. Now with the Classwiz, they are stated in full words, no. So as you can see, it's more intuitive now, no. It's easier to understand, no, which options to choose, no, because the options are now stated in full words natin. So mat IO, line IO is now input output. So deg, rad, gra, no, which stands for degrees, radians, and grads, no. So it's now in the angle units option, no. So they are simpler to use kumbaga ngayon sa Classwiz natin. Another feature is this. So the matrix mode of the 991ES, no, is limited to only up to order 3 elements, up to order 3 matrices, so 3 by 3, 3 by 1, 3 by 2 matrices. Now the Classwiz extends it to a 4 by 4 matrix, so on order 4 matrix, so 4 by 4 matrix, no? So you can now solve you can now solve matrix problems in 4 by 4 form using this matrix mode, no? Enhanced matrix mode natin. So another one, so for the equation solvers, no? So before, so we have these coefficients, no, put in proper places, no? So we have the labels A, B, C, and so on and so forth for this, no? But now with Classwiz, it's now more intuitive, no? So you can now see, no, the coefficients are now placed here, okay? And you see that once you input all the coefficients, no, the resulting will be yun, the resulting is visually attractive, no. So ano na talaga siya, no, nakasulat na siya as yung polynomial na alam natin, no. So we have this coefficient of x to the 4, coefficient of x cubed, coefficient of x squared, coefficient of x, then constant term, no. So which is easier, no. So it's easier now to use, no, and it's now less prone to errors pag ginamit na natin siya to solve yung equations natin. Additionally, So nakikita nyo, it's dun sa 991 ES natin, which is only a third degree equation, no? So Classwiz now features a fourth degree equation natin, so which is displayed in the natural display mode natin. Okay? Okay, so other features, so systems of equations, so instead na you just put coefficients like matrices, no, you now see like this in the Classwiz, no. So meron na siyang mga kasamang variables, so variable x, variable y, variable c, and you just place coefficients as you see them fit here, no, sa system natin. Okay? Additionally, nakikita nyo, it can now solve four equations in four unknowns natin, no? Four linear equations, four unknowns, no? So next, the stat mode, no? So ito yung talaga yon, no? So ito yung actually pinaka favorite ko sa changes niyan. So as you can see, we have so for stat mode, no, in regression, no? So especially regression is used in research, no? So we need yung mga fitting curves natin, no, or yung regression curves natin, so which is cryptic in nature, no, so hindi natin alam kung ano ba yung form ng regression equation natin. But with the Classwiz, so ganyan na siya, no, so you can now easily see, no, yung form ng regression equations natin, yung mga best fit curves, no, and you can also see yung coefficients, no, na unknowns doon sa kanila, no? So which is easier to use now, no, mas madali tayo makakapamili kung anong gagamitin natin. Okay? So next, so we have this for the stat modes, no? So it features now a one-click, so a one variable calculation, no, in which you input all the, it will show you all the parameters, no, that you need in statistics, like the mean, the summation, the sum of all data, the variance, the standard deviation, all in one spot, no. We only look at one screen, and one screen for all this data, no. So yan yung bago ngayon sa one variable calc natin. Okay? So next, so for the function mode or the table mode, no. So before we only have one function, which is f of x, but in the Classwiz now, so we have an additional function, which is g of x, no. So now we feature two functions, no, which you can now use, no. For example, if you want to intersect, no, for example, we have the graph of y equals f of x, and then you have the graph of y equals g of x, no, and you want to make them intersect, no. So now the table mode can now be used, no. So if the two data are equal to each other, meaning nag-intersect sila, no? So that's yun yung magiging gamit ng second function natin sa Classwiz. Okay? And finally, so two functions. Now for statistics, so we have this distribution, no? So before, normal distribution lang ang present sa statistics natin, no? But now we have more options, no, for distributions, like the inverse normal, the binomial distribution, the Poisson distribution, no. So which is of high importance pagdating sa ating mga engineering, no. So yun nga, so Classwiz offers more options now than before, no. So which is mas makakatulong sa ating mga engineering and STEM students. Okay? So another one, yung favorite ko na feature ng Classwiz is yung tinatawag na speed test natin. So the calculation speed of the Classwiz has been greatly improved, no. As you can see in this video, no. So yan, so kita nyo. So if you have seen that, no. So ulitin natin. Yan. Yan. So nakikita nyo that the 991 ES, no. So took to answer, no. So to answer this problem, no, while the Casio Classwiz took less time to answer the same problem, no. So as you can see, no, due to the improved calculation algorithms, no, or calculation methods, no, sa Casio Classwiz natin, Casio Classwiz is now faster in calculations, no? So which is important, no, when it comes to engineering, kasi of course, for example, for engineering students taking an exam, you can get instant answers agad, no, so without taking too much time, no. And for practicing engineers, no, sa field, no. So of course, client answers as quick as possible, no. So the Casio Classwiz can give answers as quickly as possible, no. So which for us engineers, no, makakagawa tayo agad ng decisions in shorter time possible. So that's why, so Casio Classwiz, no. So so that's for the Casio Classwiz natin, the features, no. So for this session, no, so carefully selected siya to illustrate yung basic skills, no, na kailangan ng isang beginning engineering student, no. So especially for the STEM students and first year engineering students, no. So you need to master or actually appreciate these skills, no, as beginning engineering, no. Okay? So first example, so let's go now. So first example is a particle moves along a horizontal line according to the equation of x of t. So this is a function, no? The name is x, so the independent variable is t. So x of t is equal to t cubed minus 90 squared plus 15t plus 45. So where x is in the position in meters and t is the time in seconds, no? So first question is to find the velocity of the particle at t equals to seconds, no? So we have the position, no? So we have the position. So let's draw it now. Yeah. So we have the position. So we have two new terms here. So we have the position and the velocity of the particle natin. So position, so position determines where in that line, no, where in that line or where in the space is the particle or the body, or whether for example tao or object or blocks, no, or balls. So where in the space is the particle located, no. So it is described in this problem using this equation, no. It is described in terms of time in seconds, no. So velocity on the other hand, so it is defined as, of course, how, kumbaga, intuitive, so kumbaga yung informally dinedefine natin siya as how fast the particle moves, no, in as specified in with direction, no. So how fast a particle moves with direction. Okay? So velocity, so mamaya pagkukumpare natin yan sa second problem natin. But velocity, so has magnitude, kung gaano kabilis, no, yung particle natin, and direction. So kumbaga kung saan papunta yung particle natin. So velocity has magnitude and direct equals to seconds, no. So velocity is related with position, no. So velocity at t equals to is related to the position via this. Okay? So dx over dt, so which means the derivative of x of the position x with respect to time t, no. So what is derivative? So yun yung tanong natin, no. So for STEM students, no, and beginning college students, so what is derivative? So informally, you can think of derivatives as this, no. So if you have a function, no, so you have a function, say f of x, or in this case x of t, no. So you have a function whose graph is as shown, no. Let's say you want to find the derivative at this point, no. So we have to find the derivative of this point. So now, what we can do is you cut away this part, no? Naka-highlight siya ng green. You cut away this part and then zoom in. Let's zoom it in and see what it looks like. So something like this one. Okay? So as you can see, we are still focusing at this point, no? So let's again cut away this part and then zoom in more, no? Zoom in this one. So as you can see, no, as we zoom more and more, no, so as we zoom further, we see that around this point, no, the graph of the function becomes a straight line, no, practically a straight line here, no. So the derivative is now defined as the slope of this line. Okay, so the slope of this line is defined is the derivative of this function about this point. So that's what it means, no, for the derivative. So now, balik tayo dito sa problem, no. So we want to find the derivative of x at time t, about time t, no. So based sa problem, x of t, so x is given by this, t cubed minus 90 squared plus 15t plus 45, and we want to find the derivative of this function. Okay? So now, let us use the Casio Classwiz to calculate the derivative. So calculate the derivative. So here is the 991EX Classwiz emulator. No? So if you have installed this 90-day trial emulator, no, so you can now use it. You can now use it, no, to test yung to test yung meron tayo ngayon sa session. Okay? So let's get the derivative. So here, so shift integral, so derivative of, let's input the function, no. So it's t, variable t here, but we can use any variable actually. So here, because dito sa natin naka d over dx siya, no, so we will use the variable x, no, for the function, no. So x, alpha x, so cube, so shift x squared, so cube na siya dito, so minus 9 x squared plus 15 x plus 45. Okay? So na-input na natin yung function, so which is in terms of x, no? Now, we want to evaluate, no? So the function at the derivative at t equals 2. So at this block, itong square na to, let's input 2 here. So let's input 2 right here. Ayan, and then press equal sign. So you see, the derivative is now negative 9. So the answer is negative 9 meters per second, no? So negative 9 meters per second, no? So that is ang sign convention natin dyan maladalas, because this is a horizontal line. So the movement of the particle is that it is positive when it goes to the right, no? So it's positive when it goes to the right, and it's negative when it goes to the left. Okay? So positive to the right, negative to the left. And because the answer here is negative, negative 9, meaning the particle moves to the left, no, at 9 meters per second. So that is the answer for number 1. Okay? Yan. So kita nyo yan? Okay? So next, number 2. So find the speed of the particle at t equals 2 seconds. No? So the speed of the particle, so another term tayo dito, no? So the speed of the particle is just yung magnitude lang, no? So meaning gaano lang siya kabilis, no? Hindi natin wala tayong pake kung ano yung magiging direction, kasi saan papunta yung particle natin. So what we want at speed is yung gaano siya kabilis, no? Yung magnitude lang nung particle natin, no? Whereas sabi ko kanina kung velocity, so ang concern natin dyan is kung gaano siya kabilis, the magnitude, and kung saan papunta yung particle, the direction. Okay? So dito speed lang tayo, no. So we only want the value, no. So speed is defined as the absolute value or the magnitude of the velocity, no. So absolute value nito, so negative 9 is just 9 meters per second natin. Okay? Yan. So I hope nakuha natin yung difference between speed and velocity natin. Now, balik tayo dun sa number 1. So actually, we use the derivative feature, no, para makalculate natin yung negative 9 meters per second. No. Alternatively, we can resort, no, to not using yung derivative natin dito. Actually, if your calculator, no, halimbawa, gumagamit kayo ng Classwiz na FX350, no, so in that case, the FX350EX has no derivative function, no, unfortunately, no. So in order to calculate the derivative, no, without using actually derivatives, so you resort with this math method natin, no. So first you input the function, so x cubed minus 9x squared plus 15x plus 45. You input this, and now let's calculate the derivative at x equals 2. So we have calc first. So let's press calc here. So calc. So x equals 2. So let's press 2. Ayan. So let's press equals again. So you get 47. No? So, and then this 47, let's store it in variable. Oops. This 47, let's store. No? So store in the variable b. So answer B is 47. No? So ayun pala. Unlike dun sa 991ES, no, before we used to press shift store then yung proper variable natin. But with Classwiz, you don't need to press shift now, no. So store na agad. Store B, store A, store C, no. So one key less, no, pagdating sa atin. Okay? So now, nakalculate na natin yung at x equals 2. So now, balik ulit tayo dito. So by pressing up button, so balik ulit tayo dito sa function na to. And then press left. Yan, press left. And then, let's again press calc. Okay, so x equals 2. But this time, let's change it, no, to 2.000001. No? So, it's a small value, but it's close to 2. Yun yung tactic natin dito. No? So, 2.000001. So, take note yung inad natin. Take note natin yan. No? So, press equals again. So you get this value 46.99991. Then store it to variable A. Okay? So start sa variable A, may naka-store tayo dyan. Sa variable B, may naka-store tayo. So now let's calculate yung derivative natin. So which is equal to A minus B all over, ano yung denominator natin? The denominator natin, kung mapapansin nyo kanina, di ba? From x equals 2, di ba, nag-add tayo ng something. So, maging 2.000001 na siya. No? So, what we add is quantity 0.000001 here. No? So, A minus B all over 0.000001. We press equals here. So, you'll get negative 9. So, almost identical no sa previous answer natin, no, which is negative 9. No. The inexactness of this answer, so kasi may butal siya dito, no. So it's due to this method being an approximation. Kumbaga, no. So approximation lang naman to eh. So we expect na may butal yung sagot natin, but it's very close to our exact answer, which is negative 9 meters per second. Okay? Yan. So that's it for number 1 and number 2. So I hope nasundan natin yun, no? So next, number 3. So find the acceleration of the particle at t equals 2 seconds, no? So A, acceleration at t equals 2, so is defined as the derivative of the velocity with respect to time. So at t equals 2, no? So acceleration is, of course, gaano kabilis nagbabago yung speed or velocity ng particle natin. Okay? So, because velocity is just the derivative of position, it's just equal to dx over dt. So, it's now equal to d squared x over dt squared, or meaning, this is the second derivative of x. So, this one is the second derivative of x with respect to t. So, substituting the position x, so ito na siya. No? Unfortunately, kahit sa 991EX, we don't have the second derivatives natin. So there are two ways, no, para atakihin natin to, no. So first one is to get the derivative of this manually, no. So we have, sulat natin dito, if we have x is equal to t cubed minus 9t squared plus 15t plus 45. No? So we get first the derivative, no? So dx over dt, which is v, no? So equals 3t squared minus, so this is 2t times 9, so minus 18t plus 15. Okay? So that the first derivative is 3t squared plus 18t minus 18t plus 15. And then this one, this is what we will input in the calculator natin. Okay? So let's input. So derivative, okay, derivative of 3t squared minus 18t plus 15. So at t equals 2. So negative 6. No? So negative 6. So is the answer natin. So negative 6 meters per square second tayo dito. Okay? So that's for problem number 3 natin. No? So that's for derivative. So this is the derivative natin. Derivative negative 6 meters per square second. Yan, okay? So ayan. So okay. So now let's go. Okay. So nakikita naman natin dito, no. So we just use yung derivative natin. So we just use yung derivative feature natin dito, no. So but how do we get, so paano tayo magka-calculate ng derivative if wala tayong derivative function? For example, sa fx350 nga, fx350 ex natin, no? So what we can do is this, no? So let's input the variable again. So x cubed minus 9x squared plus 15x plus 45. Sorry. X plus 45. Okay. So next, let's calc, no? Calc. So this time, gawin natin 2. Yan, 2 ulit because we are finding t equals 2. So equals 47 store at variable b. So x equals 2. Next, let's again go to the function ulit, no? So by pressing up button and then let's calc ulit, no? So this time let's replace it with 2.0001. No? So it's a small value but it's still equal to 2. No? So press equals and then equals, no? And then store in variable a. Okay? So next, punta tayo sa up button. Okay? Then right and left, then let's calc again. So this time let's subtract naman yung dinagdag nating small value. So 2 minus 0.0001. Okay? So 1.999999999. Okay? So press equals. So and then store natin sa variable c. Okay? So if you recall, recall natin yung mga na-store natin. So shift, recall. So as you can see, we have the stored values here. A is 46.9999 something. B is 47. And C is 47 point something. Which is a small value, of course. No? So now, the second derivative is calculated using the formula A minus 2B plus C divided by yung inad nating small value which is 0.0001 but we need to square it, no, at the end. No? So A minus 2B plus C all over 0.0001 squared. You'll get negative 6, no, as expected here. So negative 6 meters per square second. Okay. Yan. So you see, it's an exact match, no? So it happens, no? Nag-coincide lang talaga siya, no? But this is also an approximate procedure to get second derivatives. No? So to recall, for first derivative, so A minus B over some small value, so which is 0.0001, okay? And for second derivatives is this. So A minus 2B plus C all over some small value quantity squared tayo. Yan. So that's for number 3. Okay. Number 4. So find the displacement of the particle from t equals 0 to t equals 2 seconds. No? So we're dealing with this mathematically. No? So but let's visualize what happens pala. No? You have a road, for example. No? So and then this is the origin. Kumbaga, nung horizontal line natin, which is x equals 0, and you have this. So, okay, yun yung, kumbaga, yung horizontal line system natin. Now, the problem, as for the displacement at t equals 2. So, displacement, so is defined as kung gaano kalayo, no? Kung gaano kalayo yung object natin from the initial position niya, no? So, kung baga, nag-start siya at t equals 0, anong position niya doon? Then t equals 2, anong position niya noon? So, gaano kalayo yung position niya ngayon sa initial position niya, yung position niya doon. No? So, meaning, displacement is just a difference between the positions at the two given time points natin. No? So, position at time t equals 2 minus the position at time t equals 0. Okay? So, at t equals 2, so, lang natin. Yan. So, at t equals 2, so, we have this running man, no? So, we have this running man. So, at t equals 2, we only need to input. We only need to substitute t equals 2 at the value of t, no? So, the fast way to do that, no, since dalawang points to, no, is this one. So, again, we input the function. So, alpha x cube minus 9 alpha x squared plus 15 x plus 45. Okay? So, ito yun. So, let's press calc. Evaluate at 2. So, you see, it's 47, no? So, at 47. So, now, evaluate at 0 din, no? So, calc ulit. So, press 0. So, then, 45. We have here, no? So, nakita natin na at x equals, at t equals 2, we have x equals 47, the position, and at t equals 0, we have x equals 45. Okay? So, and then we get the difference nung dalawa natin. Kasi, sabi ko kanina, displacement is just how far this man, no, at his current position is from his initial position. No? So, time 2 minus time at 0. So, we get 47 minus 45 equal to 2 meters. No? So, that's for number 4. Okay? So, now, let's go number 5. So, find the distance traveled by the particle from t equals 0 to t equals 2 seconds natin. So we have distance, no? So, distance is yung total na travel niya, no, nung running man na to, no, from his initial position papunta sa final na destination niya natin tinatawag, no. So, dito we need to consider, no, kasi possible habang tumatakbo tayo, no, syempre nagbabago tayo ng direction, no. So, pwedeng pa forward tayo, after ilang seconds, pabalik naman. No? So, we need to find yung mga times na nag-change siya ng direction or nagbago siya ng direction. No? So, which is equivalent, no, to finding the time at which the velocity equals 0. No? So, velocity equals 0. No? So, the derivative of the position x with respect to t equals 0. No? So, the derivative of this, nakita natin kanina, this is 3t squared minus 18t plus 15 equals 0. No? So, and then solve for the value of t. So, which is a quadratic equation. No? So, let's use our calculator, no, to calculate this. So, let's go with menu and then equation. No? So, you can press the arrow buttons or you can actually press yung corresponding number dito or letter. So, in this case, let's go to equation, function. So, plus equals. Then, we go to polynomial to degree. This is quadratic, no? So, this one is quadratic. So, we press 2. So, you have input ax squared plus bx plus c. So, 3x squared minus 18x plus 15. Ayan. So, na-input na natin. So, 3x squared minus 18x plus 15 equals 0. And then pressing the equal sign, you get this. So, x1 equals 5 and then x2 equals 1. So these are the two roots of this quadratic equation, no? So t equals 1 and t equals 5, no? But for us, no, because the interval is just from 0 to 2, no, and 5 is outside the range, no, ng interval natin na yan, no, we only focus on t equals 1. Ito lang yan. Ito lang yung focus natin dito. T equals 1. So now, at this time t equals 1, it changed position, no? So we need to evaluate nasan siya nun. So what is his position at t equals 1, no? So doing the same yung method natin as nung problem 4, no? So I'll leave this to you as an practice, no? So yung paggamit ng variables and then using the calc procedure, no, as I've shown. Okay, so if I input it like that, no, so the value is x equals 52. Yan. So x equals 52, no. So nakikita na natin, no. So from t equals 0 to t equals 1, nag-move siya ng ganito. Tama? So and the distance that he traveled, ano yung total na length na travel niya is 52 minus 45 equals 7, no? And then from t equals 1 to t equals 2, bumalik siya, no? So papunta ulit, so nag to the left naman siya, no? And the distance that he traveled is 52 minus 47, which is equals to 5 meters, no? So therefore the total distance traveled is equal to 7 plus 5, no? So I hope yun na yan i-input sa calculator, no? You can solve this mentally. So 7 plus 5 is 12 meters, no? So this is the total distance travel natin. So nakikita natin yung difference between distance and displacement. So distance is yung total na na-travel niya, no? And displacement is just yung layo lang nung particle from the initial position. So in this case, 2 meters to versus 12 meters natin. Okay. Okay, so I hope nasundan niyo tong example natin na to, no, which in engineering falls under the dynamics, no? Dynamics of rigid bodies natin. So kinematics kumbaga yung tawag sa amin, no? Or in calculus, differential calculus to, no? Because we apply derivatives, no, in solving problems like this, no? So differential calculus. Okay? So that's for our first example, no? So second example, no, deals with this, no? So we have spherical zone, no, of one base, 4 meters, 0.4 meters high, is cut from a sphere of radius 1 meter, no? So we are asked to find the volume of the zone. Okay? So we have this sphere, no, of radius 1 meter, no? And then you cut ng prutas dyan. Ganun. Yan. So we have this cut highlight here, and the height of the cut is 4.4 meters, no? So we are asked to find the volume of this. Na pagkuha natin ng areas and volumes natin, no? So as we recall, so let's set muna natin yung positive z-axis, no? So from the center of the sphere pataas. Okay? So as we recall, no, so if you have something irregular, no, in shape, no, we attempt to divide yung region into rectangles, no, into shapes whose areas and volumes ay alam natin, no? So in this case, we divide it like this, no? So you have 5 rectangles here, no? So 5 rectangles, and then get the area of each one, no? And finally add them all together, no, in the process. That's how we get areas of yung irregular regions natin, no? Now, if you have something like this, no, so random shape siya, no? How do we get yung area of this region, no? So what we can do is the same process, no? We divide this region into shapes na alam natin yung area, no? So ano bang pinakamadali? Of course, rectangle, no? So we try to divide this into rectangles, no? But of course, if we try to divide it into rectangles, no, na malalaki yung size dito, no? So we see na hindi talaga siya purely rectangle, no? Because yung sides niya are not straight, no? So slanted siya, no? So irregular yung shape pa rin niya, no? But as we take yung kumbaga yung width o yung thickness ng rectangle na to smaller and smaller, no, until almost zero yung magiging thickness niya, no? So maliit na maliit talaga, like that, no? We can see na yung itsura niya on the outside, no, para siyang rectangle, no? Maliit na rectangle, no? Pero yun nga, maliit siya na rectangle, no? So that's the tactic that we have, no? So we divide this into very small rectangles. So very small shapes na almost alam na natin yung area niya. Almost familiar yung figure natin. So almost rectangle dito, we divide. And then let's add all that small areas natin. So that's how we get the area of any irregular region natin. Yeah. So same process, no, for this. We have this figure, ito yan, hiniwalay ko na siya, no. So we cut this into regions na alam natin yung area, no. In this case, we have this very thin na cylinder, no. So para kang we cut this into several very thin cylinders natin, no, na of course, 'di ba, para kang kung chef na nagkakat ng mga bilog na prutas or onions into small pieces, no. So ganito din 'yon. So thin cylinders, okay, whose thickness, no, to remind us na yung thickness na to is just close to zero, no. So we add the letter D, no. So meaning differential, no, sa calculus natin. So differential of Z, because yung kukunan natin yung direction ng thickness ng cylinder natin is along dun sa z-axis natin. So we write it as dz. Okay? So now, how do we find the radius? Of course, alam natin yung thickness or yung height, which is dz. Now, what is the radius of this cylinder? No? So let's set the center of the sphere. Yung center ng sphere, yung distance niya papunta doon is z, no? So and then itong distance na to, which is just the radius of the sphere, so which is 1, so 1 meter to, or r in this case, no? So let's solve for r. So as you can see, this is a right triangle, no? So we can solve this using Pythagorean theorem. So r squared plus z squared equals capital R squared, no? Solving for r, so you'll get r equals to the square root of r squared minus z squared, no? Or substituting r equals 1, so 1 minus z squared, no? So meaning, we now express the radius of this thin cylinder r in terms of its distance from the center of the sphere z. Yan, okay? So now, the volume of the cylinder, so which is alam natin yan, no? Which is pi r squared h, no? So equals, substitute, no? R equals square root of 1 minus z squared. Okay? Drawing na natin. So r equals square root of 1 minus z squared, and h, which is the height of the cylinder, is equal to the thickness dz of the cylinder. So substitute, tama, and then simplify, we get pi times 1 minus z squared dz, no? So this is the volume of the thin cylinder natin, no? So pi 1 minus z squared dz. And now, to get the volume of this entire region natin, no? So sabi ko kanina, you add several na thin regions natin, no? And then yun, ipag-add natin sila, no? So that's the essence of this, no? Ganun din gagawin natin dito. So to remind us na yung volume nito ng thin cylinder natin is very small, na malapit sa zero, we denote this by D again. Then the volume of yung region natin. Okay? Now, to get the volume of the entire region, no, the volume of zone, you add all the thin cylinders natin. So, to add all the thin cylinders, no, we use integration. No? So, that's integral. Yan yung essence ng integral natin. So, kumbaga, integral is just like summation, kumbaga sum ng lahat ng tin quantities natin. Okay? So substituting this, so let's set the bounds first. So we have z equals 0.6, no? Because the distance of, di ba? Alam natin ang height ng zone is 0.4. Tama? The height of the zone is 0.4 and therefore, alam natin dito, set natin yung dimension 9 natin dito. So the height of the zone is 0.4. But the radius of the sphere, alam natin yan. So therefore, 1 minus 0.4 is 0.6 meters. No? So yung initial natin, so ito yung nasa bottom, so 0.6 meters. No? So 0.6 and then sa taas, yung pinakataas, of course, we set z equals 1 meter. No? So the bounds are from 0.6, so these are the bounds, 0.6 to 1 of the volume natin. No? Substituting the d volume, so which is pi times minus z squared dz, evaluated, integrating from 0.6 to 1, no? Let's now calculate yung integral natin. So balik tayo dito. So naka-equation mode pa tayo dito. So balik tayo sa menu 1. Ayan, calculate mode. So, okay, ayan. So let's
I think we're having some problem with Sir Jaydee. We'll be back later and we'll try to fix yung technical difficulties with Sir Jaydee. Ayan, Sir Jaydee.
hello sir. Yan, okay. Yan, so okay. So balik tayo dito, no? So we see now that the integral is 0.4356 cubic meters. So that's the final answer for this problem. So 0.4356 cubic meters. Okay. Ayan. So now, tatanga kayo, no, if of course, yung merong nakakaalam sa kanyo ng direct formula for calculating the volume of this, no. So bakit in-integrate pa natin itong problem na to, no? So let's see first muna yung direct formula. Sa mga nakakaalam ng direct formula, no, pag-calculate ng spherical zone, volume ng spherical zone, the formula is given by 1/3 pi h squared times 3r minus h, no? So let's see if the answers are the same, no, between these two, no? So pasok natin sa calcu. So we have 1/3 pi h squared. The height is 0.4, so times 0.4 squared times 3 times radius, 3 times 1, minus the height h, which is 0.4. No? So the same pa rin yung nakuha nating answer na to, 0.4356. So sir, the question, bakit pa natin ginawa tong integral na to if there is a direct formula for calculating the volume, no? So gusto ko ipakita dito, no. So I want to show, no, yung isa sa bagay, yung skill na dapat matutunan ng isang beginning engineering student, no. In that, yun nga, if nakalimutan ko, for example, itong formula na to, no. So actually minsan nakakalimutan ko to, itong formula na to, no? If you forget this formula, you can derive. Yan. You can go with this method, no? You can derive using this and get the same answer, no? So, yan. So, actually, if generalize nyo nga itong problem na to, variable h, variable r, no? You can actually, using this integration method, you can actually derive this formula, no? So you can actually prove this formula, no? So, kumbaga, alternative natin, no? So, if you have, yun nga, nakalimutan nyo nga, derive. And also, you can, yun, malalaman nyo nga kung saan galing yung formula na to. So, by doing this natin. Okay? So, that's for the second example natin. So, same answer as usual. Yan. Okay? So, that's for integration problem natin. So, now, it is worth mentioning. So, syempre, if we do integrals by hand, no? So, gagamit tayo dyan ng power rule, ng U substitution, ng trigo substitution, ng integration by parts, and so forth. Mga hand methods natin, no? But Classwiz, no, and of course all other calculators do not do this technique, no. So let's discuss this shortly, no. So for example, so Classwiz uses yung tinatawag na Gauss-Kronrod quadrature method, no. So kung titingnan niyo yung kung babasahin ng Classwiz, no, so it states that the calcul, so the integration feature uses the Gauss-Kronrod quadrature, so which is a variant of what we call the Gaussian quadrature family method natin. So what does Gaussian quadrature do, no? So for example, we have this function f of x, no, and then we want to calculate the integral, no, between these 2 points, no. So this is the lower bound, sa left side, and we have the upper bound, which is the right side, no? So we want to calculate the integral, no. So or equivalently, the area under this curve, no. So area under this curve. So you want to shade this, no, yung nasa baba. So the area under this curve is the integral of the function, no? So we want to calculate the integral using yung tinatawag Gauss-Kronrod quadrature, no. So what the calculator does is this, no. So evaluate at one point, so f of x at x equals x sub 1, and then you multiply it by a certain multiplier, no. So for example, ang factor ay 2.5, no, or 1.25, no. You just multiply the value of this function by a certain multiplier or a certain factor, no. And then you evaluate at other point, so f of x sub 2, and then multiply it again, so by a certain weight or multiplier, and you do this for all other points, no. So you do this for all other points until you get the last, no, the last point natin, so last sampling point, so f of x sub n, and then multiplied by the factor w sub n. Okay, no, and then lastly, all of these weights times the value of the function, you add them all together. So the result of this, the result of this is the integral of the entire function. So as you can see, the advantage of this sa calculators, no, is that you don't evaluate at all points, no, lahat ng all points of function. You just pick points, no, and then apply weights to them and then add them all together para makuha natin yung final answer, no? So that's how Classwiz calculates yung definite integrals natin dito. Okay? So just for appreciation, no. So for STEM students, you can skip this, no. But for higher engineering students, you might as well appreciate this one, no? Especially sa numerical methods natin. Okay? So that's for integrals, no. So let's now go to the example number 3. So another skill to present, no. So we have a cable to be run from a power plant on one side of a river, which is 900 meters wide, to a factory on the other side, 3 kilometers away upstream, no. The cost of running the cable over land is 200 pesos per meter, while the cost underwater is 250 pesos per meter, no. So the problem asks for the minimum cost possible to spend for cabling from the power plant to the factory, no? So we have this river and we have the power plant in the factory, no? So you want to run a cable, no? So of course from land then to water, no? So in the smallest cost possible. So ganyan naman talaga sa engineering, no? So we in engineering, no, we want of course the most economical, the less costly options possible, no? Because of course money yan, di ba? And yung money na masasave natin, we can use for other things, no? So we want to spend as less as small money or as less cost as possible, no? So ito yung ipe-present natin sa problem na to, no? So let's define x to be yung length nung cable na dumaan sa land, no? And then y be the length of the cable that runs on water, okay? So yung dumaan sa tubig, y, dumaan sa lupa, x natin, no? So let's define this length to 3,000 minus x because based on the problem, we have this distance, no? So we have this distance, okay? So with this distance equal to 3,000 meters or 3 kilometers, no? So we have this distance 3,000 meters, no? And then this one is 900 meters, so which is the width of the waiver. So the width is 900 meters, no? So let us now calculate the minimum cost natin, no? So let us first construct yung cost as a function of x, no? Cost as a function of x, so is equal to the length x of the cable times yung cost sa lupa, which is 200 per meter, then plus y, yung dumaan sa tubig, okay, plus yung cost sa tubig, which is 250 per meter. Okay? Now, substituting y, which is we can deduce, no, using Pythagorean theorem, no. So this is a right triangle and where y is the hypotenuse, no. So we can now get the value of y in terms of these two legs using Pythagorean theorem. So this is the cost function natin, no? So as you see, it's now expressed in terms of x. So we can now solve the minimum cost, no. So the objective is to minimize the value of this, no. What is the minimum value or the minimum cost, this one, no? So to solve it using yung Classwiz natin, so let's do this. Ayan. So let's go with menu, okay? And then let's go table, no? So this one is table, so option 9, table. So press 9. So we have f of x, no? So let's input this variable. So let's input this expression. So 200x plus 250 times square root of 3,000 minus x quantity squared plus 900 squared. Yan, so na-input. So you can press left or right. So kung mahaba yung expression nyo, to recall yung in-input natin na expression. So tama naman yung in-input natin, no? So let's press equals, no? Now it's as, sabi ko nga kanina, dalawang functions na yung ina-ask ni Classwiz, no? So since isa lang kailangan natin, you can just press 0. 0 lang natin to, okay? 0. So start, end, and step, no? So start is yung beginning value of x natin ito. Beginning value of x, and is the ending value of x. So from start to end, okay? And then step is yung magiging increment, no? For example, if I press 0 here and then 3,000 here and then 200 here, so meaning the starting value of x is 0. The ending value of x is 3,000 and the step will be, the increment will be 200. So from 0, so 0, 200, 400, 600, and so on and so forth until 3,000. So yun yung mga points na i-evaluate dun sa table natin sa function, no. So ang start natin is 0, tama naman, di ba? Because possible the minimum possible value of x is 0, no? Pag nandito yung cable natin, tapos diretso doon, no? So x is 0 at that case, no? Now, the end is 3,000, no? So that's the maximum possible value for x. If halimbawa mula dito, diretso hanggang dulo, then diretso ulit doon. So ganong configuration nakikita natin. So that's for x equals 3,000. So that's why yun yung pinili nating range for the value. So for the start and the end points natin. Okay? So meron na tayong start, meron na tayong end, meron na tayong step which is 200, no? So sa step, make sure lang, no? Sa step, make sure na yung step nyo is large enough, no? Para mas marami kayong data points na ma-output, and small enough na hindi lalagpas dapat dun sa memory. Yung kumbaga yung maximum number of lines na kailangan sa table mode natin. Sa 991ES, ang alam ko 30. Kailangan yung number of increments nyo is 30. Number of intervals is 30. Yun yung maximum, no? Beyond that, magkaka-error ka na. Memory error, no? So, okay. So, equals nyo. So, you see this, no? So, pagmasdan nyo mabuti. So, nakikita nyo dito, yung value ng f of x natin. Ayan, value ng f of x natin, pababa siya. Pababa, 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 pababa. Tapos, at this point, umakyat siya, tama? So, from this one, so, pababa, bumaba siya, then after na to, umakyat. Okay? So, nagkaroon tayo ng change of, kumbaga nagkaroon tayo ng change of change of direction ng values natin. No? So, from downward, naging upward siya. No? So, meaning, pag nagkaroon ka ng downward, tapos naging upward, di ba? So, may imagine nyo yung graph niya, no? So, yung lowest point nyo, nandun, di ba? So, yung pinakababa na value, that's the minimum possible value natin. So, in this case, yung minimum possible value natin is 735,000. No? So, occurring at x equals 1,800. No? So, pwede na ba nating sabihin na ito yung minimum value natin, no? So, generally hindi, no? So, kasi we need to verify, no, if halimbawa pag niliitan pa natin yung range, yun pa rin ba yung minimum value niya? So, yun yung kailangan nating tignan, okay? So, here, so nag-minimum siya dito. So, let's get yung katabi, yung dalawang katabi niya, no? So, which is at x equals 1,600 and at x equals 2,000. Yan. So, ito yung titignan natin, yung dalawang katabi niya. So, let's press AC and then equals. So, ano ibig sabi ko? 1,600, tama? 1,600, 2,000. Then, itong step, babaan na natin. Let's divide it by 10. So, 20 na lang. Step is 20. Then, press equals. Okay, so again, titignan ulit natin, no? So, pababa, 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 pababa. Then, tumaas ulit yung value natin. So, as you can see, so from here, pababa, then pataas siya. So, as you can see here, this one is the minimum possible value natin. So, which is, again, 735,000 yung value natin. So, kanina, 735K. Ngayon ulit, 735K. So, now, we are more confident that the minimum value is actually 735,000. So, but for the sake of this problem, so let's continue yung pag-analyze natin. So, ito yung minimum value natin at this point. Now, let's get yung two neighboring values natin, which occurs at x is 1,780 and x equals 1,820. No? So, again, equals, so 1,780 and then 1,820. The step equals. Ayan. So again, let's see. Pababa, 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 pataas. Ayan. So as you can see, so pababa dito, then pataas siya. So again, the minimum value is this one. So which occurs again at 735,000. No? So yan, mas confident talaga tayo that the minimum value is 735,000 pesos. Yan. So you can continue this process no indefinitely no. So tuloy-tuloy no until you are very confident no. You have obtained yung kailangan mong accuracy no or you are very confident na hindi na nagbabago yung minimum value natin or maximum value natin. No? So as you can see, so 735,000 tayo lagi dun sa first 3 trials natin. So the minimum value is 735,000 pesos no. So this is the minimum possible cost na pwede nating gastusin no for cabling from the power plant to the factory no. So 735,000 pesos. Yeah. So summarize, so these are the steps that we have taken no. So ito yung tatlong steps natin no? And we obtain the final answer that we have 735,000. Okay? So I hope nasundan nitong problem na to no. So which is the use of the table mode no sa so to calculate the minimum and maximum values natin. So that's for example number 3. Okay? So number 4. So our last example for this session no. So the last example number 4 no. So we have 6 children playing a variant of the game tug of war and exert pulls. So naghihilaan sila no. So and exert pulls as shown below no. So which side will win the game? So now as you can see no, we have depicted yung pulls by arrows no because yung mga pull, 'di ba? Yung mga pull, yung mga tulak no. So they are force. They are forces no. So force is a push or pull, 'di ba? Exerted on another object or something, no? For example, we have this guy pushing a very tall block, very heavy block, no? Very massive block. So you depict yung pagtulak niya, yung push niya into the block using this arrow, no? So because forces are vectors, no? So force is a vector, no? So by vector, meaning it has magnitude. So meaning it has magnitude and it has direction, no? So magnitude and direction, no? So vectors of magnitude, gaano kalakas yung force na ina-apply mo, no? So gaano katindi. And direction is paano mo i-apply yung force na to, no? So this guy pushing the block, no, is represented by this force, no, na ina-apply niya, no? So this is a vector. Okay? Sa kalaban, so is depicted by a force, yung tulak niya, no? So the force represented by a vector, no? So of course, 'di ba, pag sumuntok ka, masakit, no? Sorry. Pag sumuntok ka, syempre masakit sa kamay 'yon, no? So you have felt something, no? That is because there is a reaction, no? So, there is a force exerted on your hand, no? So which is depicted by this. Okay? The red arrow, no? So which is called the reaction force, no? So kung tatandaan nyo sa Newton's third law of motion, no? So for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction force, no? So they are two opposing forces, two opposing vectors, but equal in magnitude, no? Equal in magnitude, but opposing in direction, no? So effectively, they cancel each other, no? So that's for this example, no? So another one, yung famous, 'di ba? Si Newton, no? So paano niya na-discover yung gravity, yung concept of gravity. So we have a falling apple here, no? So the apple goes downward, no? So we can represent yung kumbaga yung pagbaksak niya ng apple, no? By this arrow, no? Because yun nga, apples fall due to gravity, no? So meaning the earth, 'di ba, exerts force. Hinihila ng earth yung apple na to, no? So that's why the force here goes toward the center of the earth. So yun yung lumalabas dito. So it is represented by a force, no? So gravity is represented by a force natin dito. Okay? So yan yung concept ng force as a vector, no? So same dito, no? Yung hila ng mga bata, no, sa tug of war, no, they are represented by pulls, no, as force vectors natin. Okay? Now, the objective of this problem is to find which side will win the game. So how do we find yung anong side mananalo yung game na to, no? 'Di ba? Kung alam niyo yung rules ng tug of war, no? So 'di ba kung sino yung unang makarating dito, no? Is panalo na. Tama? Ay kung sino unang makarating, 'di ba? Kung sino yung unang side na makarating dito sa center na to, is yung talo, tama? And yung makahila ng opposite side is yung panalo, no? So basically, yung titignan natin dito is yung horizontal na forces na kailangan natin dito, no? So first, let us get yung tinatawag na resultant force. So resultant force. So sulat natin dito. So R dito na. So R equals resultant force, no? So resultant force, basically vectors to, di ba? Force are vectors and forces can also be added, no? So because vectors can be added, forces can also be added, like pero kakaiba yung pagka-add niya na, okay? So meaning resultant is just the sum of these vectors natin dito, no? So let's represent muna yung mga forces na to, no? For preparation sa pag-input natin sa calculus, no? So let's stick with the convention natin, no? So we have the positive x-axis, you measure the angle counterclockwise. So ganyan natin i-measure yung angles natin, no? So for example, for this 120 Newton force, so we have the positive x-axis, then measure counterclockwise, no? So what is this angle? So may kita nyo, this is 50 degrees, and we know that a straight line is yan. So nakita natin this is 50. Okay? So we know that this is 50. Okay? 50 degrees. So this is 180 yung straight line. So therefore 180 minus 50, so we have 130 degrees. And therefore this angle or this force is represented in mathematical form by 120 newtons, angle 130 degrees. Okay? So ganyan siya, no? So another one, this one, so positive x-axis and then measure counterclockwise. Okay? Ayan, so measure counterclockwise. So we have 205 degrees, tama? So we have this, diba? This is straight line 180, then you have 25 degrees here, no? Based on this. So 205 degrees. Okay? So the angle now is, the force now is 150, angle 205 degrees, no? Next, this force, so positive x counterclockwise, you'll get the angle equal to 180 plus 25 plus 45. So 250 degrees. So we have 100 angle 250 degrees. Okay? So now on the other side, so we have 120 newtons, angle 30 degrees. So we have this positive x-axis, measure counterclockwise, no? Yeah, so measure counterclockwise 30 degrees. So 120 angle 30 degrees. And then, so positive x, measure counterclockwise. So pwede measure tayo counterclockwise. But this time, let's measure it clockwise, no? So when we measure it clockwise, the angle becomes negative, di ba? Ang sign convention natin dito is that positive is counterclockwise and then clockwise is negative, no? So counterclockwise positive, clockwise negative. So clockwise negative, so we have negative 15 degrees here. So the angle, so the force is 150 angle, negative 15 degrees. Okay? So finally, we have this one. So positive x-axis, measure we don't know the angle, no? So the angle is not directly given in this case, but we only have this, no? So that this force daw goes one step up and two steps to the right, no? One step down, two steps to the right. So 1 to 2 yung slope niya kumbaga. no? So let's denote this by theta. So by alternating interior angles, this is also theta. And if we call in our trigonometry, no, that tangent theta, diba? Tangent theta is opposite over adjacent. Okay? So opposite here, opposite the angle theta is 1, okay? And then adjacent is 2. Okay? So 2. Yan. Now, let's assign yung kumbaga yung kung positive siya or negative, no. So there are two ways. We know and then to the right. So meaning the one here, so downward siya, so negative. And then yung 2 to the right siya, so positive tayo dito, no. So negative 1 over 2, no. So therefore, theta is tangent inverse, no. Tangent inverse ng negative 1 over 2. Okay? So ganyan siya, no. So theta is tangent inverse of negative 1 over 2. So this is the angle theta na kailangan natin sa problem na to. So let's input that, no. So 100 angle tangent inverse negative 1 over 2. So now, so nakuha na natin lahat ng forces. We are now ready to input this in our calculator. So, punta tayo sa menu, vector mode. No? So this is the vector mode, so option 5. So represented by these 3 arrows here. So this is the vector mode. No? Syempre, mali yun. No? So let's go with complex mode. So kakaiba siya actually. Medyo nalito din ako. No? Kakaiba actually itong problem na to because these are vectors, right? So but we will attack this using complex numbers. No? So we will use instead this one. No? So the complex mode, option 2. Okay. So option 2. So let's input now 120 angle. So how do we get the angle here? So if you see this eng symbol, eng keypad, so sa taas nun, you have this slanted letter L here. Yan. So shift eng. Okay? So lalabas yung angle natin. So this is the angle that we want. So shift eng is the answer. Okay? So input angle 130. Let's check, no? So in the above, we have letter D symbol here, no? So which means the angles are in degrees, no? So this is our key. The angles are in degrees. So dapat letter D yun nandito, no? So just papakita ko lang, no? How do we change this in radians, for example? So shift setup, shift menu, and then angle unit 2, and then radians 2. So now the angle is now in radians because the symbol is now R dun sa taas natin. This is R. Now ibalik natin sa degrees. So shift menu 2 angle unit 1 degree. So now we are now back with degrees. Okay? So 120 angle 130 plus 150 shift angle 205 plus 100 shift angle 250 plus 120 shift angle 30 plus 150 shift angle negative 15 plus 100 shift. So tangent inverse, so shift tangent inverse negative 1 over 2. Ayan. So let's press the left and right keys, no, to make sure na tama yung input natin. So let's check. Ayan. So tama naman. So yung input natin. So now let's press equals. No? Ayan. So this is the equals. So as you can see, the output is this, no? So 90.97 something minus 88.9808 something I, no? So okay. So let's think. You just ignore this I, no? So ang kailangan natin is that the answer has two components, no? So we have 90 point something and negative something, 88 point something. Now the first number here is the x component or the horizontal component of our resultant force, no? And the second number here is our y component or the second or the vertical component of yung force natin, yung resultant force natin. So, the resultant force, so let's put it here now. So, the resultant force is this. So, we have the horizontal component and the vertical component. Okay? So, the horizontal component is this. Favors the right hand side no? Because the resultant force is positive. No? So, positive meaning it goes to the right. Okay? So, positive to the right. Tama? So, the resultant force goes to the right and hence, ang magiging conclusion natin dyan is that this one, yung right side natin, mahihila niya yung kabilang side, no? Papunta dun sa kanila, papunta sa right. Okay, so therefore, the conclusion is that the right side will win the game natin. Okay? Ayan, so nasagot natin yung which side will win the game. Okay. But of course, no, which side will win the game, no? As an engineer, no, as engineering students, no, you can actually deduce, no, kung ano yung magiging sagot natin based on observation lang, no. So, that's one key skill na kailangan nyo as engineers or engineering students, no. So, in this case, we want the horizontal components, no, para manalo kayo sa tag of war, no. So, as you can see in yung sa appearance ng forces natin, 'di ba? So, we have this sa left side, we have this 100 Newton force. Nero, 100 Newton nga siya, pero yung horizontal component naman niya is so small, no? Kasi kung makikita nyo tong force na to, this force is close to being vertical, no? So this is close to being vertical na it has no help doon sa forces natin, okay? Now, on this side naman, sa right side, we see that all the forces are almost close to horizontal, being horizontal. So, it exerts yung maximum effect no, nung kada isa. No? So, although naka-incline pa siya, no, but it is more closer to being a horizontal force. No? So, that's why the right side no, has more horizontal forces exerted no, compared to the left hand side no, which has less less horizontal force no. So therefore the resultant is going to the right no? So yun yung nakikita natin dyan no? So by observation so automatically the right hand side wins the game natin. Okay? So yan, so that's it. So finally natapos na tayo no. So that's it for our session today no. So dito na ipakita natin yung apat na examples that will show how wonderful, so how amazing Casio Classwiz is no to use no. So kanina pinakita natin yung differences between the two and in the examples we show how fast or how amazing we can solve basic engineering problems and skills using yung Casio Classwiz natin. So if you have any questions no, so you can ask you can ask us no after the session no. So thank you sa lahat ng nakinig ngayong hapon no. So ibabalik ko na yung floor natin sa ating mga moderators no. So again, so maraming salamat sa pakikinig at yan sa naway nag-enjoy tayo lahat dito sa session. Yan, thank you.
Ayan, thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yeah,
Sir JD,
thank
for
you.
that very wonderful explanation about our topic this afternoon. And at this point, let us call on our Casio Educational Unit Head, Sir Joel Serrano. Hello, Sir
Hello,
Joel.
hello Sir Body, hello Engineer Jaydee.
Yeah, hello
Congratulations,
sir.
na-complete natin yung ating discussion for this afternoon, no. And para ako na bumalik sa college days, no, yung sa mga tinuturo mo kanina. And I believe yung ating mga participants ay nakita nila yung power ng Classwiz. Uh, uh, Illustrating dun sa mga college math topics, no, especially for I think calculus, differential calculus. Um, ano pa ba? Also, Sir JD, after work, halimbawa, nung pagka-graduate mo ba sa college, mas preferred mo ba ang Classwiz or yung mga old models?
Sir JD.
JD?
Ano yan, sir, kasi nung college actually na-try ko ang Classwiz, no? So, ayan yung, kasi mga friends ko nun, meron silang Classwiz, nakabili sila ng Classwiz. And nung trinay ko siya, no, so, actually nakita ko na mas maganda nga gamitin si Classwiz, no, in terms of yung enhanced features niya, yung ease ng paggamit, no, kasi intuitive na siya gamitin, so mas detailed yung instructions niya pag ginagamit na siya, no? And yun nga, mas speedy, mas base, yun nga, yung mas speedy yung calculations niya kasi enhance nga yung kumbaga yung algorithms na ginamit sa Classwiz, so mas mabilis na kaming nakakakuha ng answers, no, compared sa previous brands. Ayan.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yun
yeah.
nga, mas maganda gamitin si Classwiz.
Oo. Tsaka yung, di ba, yung engineering constants, nasa loob na eh. Unlike yung
Yes,
previous models, kakabisaduhin mo pa eh. How many constants ba yun? Dati, almost 40. Kakabisaduhin mo. Ito, nandun na sa loob ng calculator. So, it will be very easy for
Actually,
you to,
ano yan eh. Actually, mga nasa ano yan. Mm.
yeah. So, Sir Buddy, may mga questions pa tayo coming from participants?
Tingnan natin, sir.
Yung kanina, para
Meron,
may nakita ko kanina.
tingnan natin. Yung kanina, ano lang yan. Please share the evaluation link. So, ayan. And then let's have another comment here. Almost all of them, parang bumabati lang sila. Ayan, si Sir Lourdes, sabi niya si Ma'am Lourdes, forgot ko na po yan. Nung college ako, kuha ko yan at major ko ang math, pero ngayon dimot na talaga. So, kagandahan niya yun sa mga session natin, na para nagkakaroon tayo ng
Refresher.
refresher with the help
Yeah, yeah.
of Casio calculators. And,
Yeah.
tingnan natin kung meron pa siya.
Yes, totoo yan.
So far, sir, wala nang mga comment. And kanina nasabi ni Sir JD na parang nung nag-aaral siya, wala siya nung mismong calculator, parang yung kaklase niya lang yata. Hindi ko alam kung tama yung pagkakarinig ko. So, sa ngayon, no, our teachers can download the emulators and
Yeah, it's for
for
free.
free, and pwede nila magamit yun sa kanilang pagtuturo.
Yeah, it's good for 90 days trial. So, it's for free naman. Hindi magbabago yun.
Ayan. So talagang binibigay lahat sa atin for free ng Casio and we can use it lalo na ngayon na we are using this distance learning. Sir Jaydee, any comments about that?
Mm, so, kung wala na po, sir, yan, ayos tayo. Ayos na po tayo.
Ayun. So, Sir Joel,
Yeah, actually, tama yung sinabi mo, Sir Buddy, yung emulator, uh, super helpful sa mga teachers nowadays, no? Actually, last week, I think two or three schools, they contacted our page and they were asking where to
download.
purchase yung, ang tawag doon, where to renew yung kanilang
Okay.
emulator kasi they're looking to use it for the next 1 year.
Yeah.
So, ayun, we just directed them to our site na lang where they continue the emulator services. So, it's just basically a reality right now na somehow nakakatulong tayo sa mga teachers by
Yes.
providing them this emulator, no? Ayun.
And speaking of emulators, pwede lang i-visit ang official site ng Casio. It's https://edu.casio.com/software license/index.php. Kung gusto po nating ma-download yung mga emulators po natin, pwede po nating bisitahin ang official site ng ating Casio Education Philippines. And to get to know more about their sites and their programs, we have this official Facebook page. It's Casio Calculators Philippines.
Correct.
Di ba, Sir
Correct.
Joel? Sir Joel, ano
Yes,
pa kaya in
that's right. So,
ano pa kayo in-expect ng mga participants po natin?
actually, I think uh, I think in the next weeks or the next few months, I invited Sir Jaydee to come up with some videos para sa recorded videos para sa mga how to do's para sa mga engineering courses using the calculator of Classwiz. Okay ba tayo doon, Sir JD?
Yeah, okay na okay
Right.
tayo din, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Yan.
Ayan, Sir Joel, thank you. So, alam ko kanina may sinabi si Sir Joel na meron pang mga activities for Casio. And
Yes.
abangan natin yan, Sir Joel, no?
May mga naka-line up tayong model dyan. Parang, work pa dyan kay Sir JD eh.
Yes. And hopefully, makasama uli natin si Sir
Yes,
Joel.
thank you po.
Yeah. In the near future, we will do it again.
Okay po. Sana, hopefully. And any announcement, Sir Joel?
That's it from Casio. So just continue supporting us. Basta kami hanggat may guro, may Casio.
Yeah.
Okay?
Kung DepEd,
And of course, like to say thank you to DepEd ETU for your continued support to this very valiant project of ours.
okay. So once again, I think that concludes our session for today, Sir Joel. Wala
Yeah.
tayong mga...
Thank you, Sir JD, and congratulations
Okay, thank
for
you,
this
Sir Joel.
wonderful presentation.
Thank you po, sir. Thank you.
See you again soon.
Yeah. And that concludes our session with Sir JD about the use of Casio calculators in Engineering 101. And tulad na sinasabi natin, kakayanin natin to. Let's all work together towards achieving quality education and providing quality education sa ating mga learners. Again, meron pong paparating na bagyo. Stay safe po tayong lahat. And hopefully, kita-kita ulit tayo our webinar session with Casio. And kita-kits po ulit tayo next Saturday.